Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Saturday. It is the 6th of June, and this is Chart of the Day video number 45. How are you this morning? It's a cloudy, overcast day, a little bit on the humid side. I'm hoping that will help my eczema. I had a big old patch of eczema on the inside of my elbow, and poor little Reese has it all over her back, so she got that from this side of the family. But I'm hoping the humidity will help with that little situation. Running late today. Dan and I were discussing some things this morning, and then so I didn't get here on time, and then I got in and I had a couple orders that had come in, so I thought I would quickly package those up so that the mailman could take them when he comes, which I'm hoping I didn't miss him. It's not my regular mailman today. He might have come early, I don't know. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll go out, that stack of mail will go out today. So let's see. Yesterday, do you believe in ghosts? I am actually surprised at the number of people who said yes, they do. Ghosts or spirits or leftover energy, whatever you want to call it. I was surprised at the number of you that said you did. I figured it'd be a very controversial question, and I'm glad that it didn't get, didn't get ugly, so to speak. And happy I'm not the only one out there, so thank you for responding to that question. Today, the chart of the day is a little mini kit from Abby Rose Designs. It's called Home Sweet Home. It's a pin pillow mini kit. The picture, I don't think the picture probably does it much justice. In the mini kit, you get a piece of backing fabric. So a piece of a length of ribbon and a pretty little stick pin. The called for fabric is a 30 count natural linen, which we all know I don't have a lot of 30 count, and I don't like 30 count, so I went with 32 for the choices I'm going to show you today. And I also didn't have a lot of those colors. About half of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than half of them were Gentle Arts, and I didn't have them. So I did my own thing on this. So look at that, and then I'm going to show you, and since I didn't have half of them, I can't really show you what the actual colors look like. I can tell you what they are, though. Rose Garden, Wood Trail, Faded Rose, Dried Thyme, Aged Pewter, and then it has a couple of weeks Red Pear and Olive, and then just white DMC, or whatever white you might want to use. But since I don't have most of those, I just decided to do my own thing. We all know I'm not real big on pinky colors, so I went more red for the pinks, and changed the colors up to look like that. Instead of white, I'm using yellow because I like my flower centers to be yellow and not white. And it's also for the windows, and I like a little bit of a glow in my windows, so I went with this, which is a 3046 DMC. So those are the colors I chose. Now, if you do like pink, I did do a pink palette also. Not a bright pink palette, but a little bit of a pink palette as compared to the just a second. Compared to the red. So they're a little bit different, but so you could do that instead. And then on the blue, I went, not a light blue person, so instead of the house color was actually aged pewter, which is kind of a grayish blue. I just went with a navy. This is Blacksmith Blue from Classic Colorworks because I liked it with the backing fabric. If you want, and it looks okay with the trim, but if you want something closer to the trim, since you're going to see that and not the backing fabric, you could use Battleship from Weeks Dye Works. It's a little bit closer to the color, but it's not a color I would want to do my house in. But that's an option for those of you who might want to do that. Fabric, I just kept it neutral so it would go with the backing fabric. This is a 32 count French roast, I believe. There's the greens in there. That's French roast. I have a teeny tiny little piece of 18th century brown. It's a little bit darker, and that would look good. Pretty much any neutral brown is going to work. And then that antique lamb's wool color, that's really pretty too. So I think that would stitch up to be a really sweet piece. Abby Rose, her pictures often do not do her pieces justice, so keep that in mind when you're looking at them. I think they're a lot cuter stitched up. So that's our chart of the day. Can you hear the siren going in the background? It's the first Saturday of the month. They always do the sirens. Do they do that where you're at? They always run the tornado sirens or the emergency sirens at 10 o'clock on the first Saturday of the month. So you don't panic when you hear them on the first Saturday of the month. If you hear them otherwise, you tend to panic. Question for today. I happened to vacuum the shop yesterday. At the end of the day, I just couldn't stand the grunge anymore, so I was vacuuming it. And this time of year, I get a lot of spider webs and spiders wandering around in here. So it got me thinking, because I think it's well established, I do not like spiders at all. I don't like pictures of them. I don't really like, I definitely don't like them in my house. They can be outside as long as they leave me alone. I don't like them sharing the same indoor space as myself, and I sucked up a lot of them yesterday. So my question to you is, I have found most of the time, as a general rule, not always, but as a general rule, people either don't like spiders a lot or they don't like snakes a lot. My older sister, Robin, can't even see a picture of a snake without freaking out. I can see a picture of a spider. I may not like it. It might give me a nightmare, but I don't freak out. Robin freaks out at even I think the word snake. Melanie's not overly fond of spiders. I don't know how she feels about snakes. And it's not to say that I like snakes, because, if there was a snake right in front of me, it's probably more because I don't see a whole lot of snakes. sometime back we had a little, I called it a shack, up in Stewart, Nebraska, in the Sandhills. It was my aunt's, and when she passed away, Melanie and her husband at the time were going to buy it, and then that fell through, so I bought it. And we used to go up there, Melanie and I and the kids would go up there and spend most of the summer up there. And we'd scrapbook, and I'd stitch, and the kids would run around wild. But my aunt and uncle lived right next door to the, was it the north, Mel? Neighbors to the north? Anyway, they lived right next door. And the shack did not have a basement. That it had a crawl space, but that no one would go in because it was full of spiders. So when there was a severe weather problem, we would hoof it next door to Jack and Edith's house because they did have a basement level. And I remember distinctly one time there was a tornado warning, and I sent the kids scurrying while I shut things down in the house real quick, and I didn't bother to put my shoes on. So I'm running between the two houses, and I happened to step on something. I'm barefoot because I didn't bother to grab my shoes. Keep that in mind. I step on something, and my first thought was hose, and then it moved. And my second thought was snake. So I screamed like a little girl and kept running. So I'm not saying that, presented with a snake in front of me that I wouldn't be scared. It's just I'm not presented with them all the time. Whereas spiders, they're everywhere. Everywhere I turn, it's like I'm a spider magnet. So I sucked a lot of their little bodies up yesterday, and a lot of dead carcasses of other things that they had sucked the life out of. And which just got me thinking, how many of you are more afraid of spiders or more afraid of snakes? Because it's that time of year. They're both going to be out. Weekend plans. Don't have any, really. I'll probably be here tomorrow and stretch another 3 or 4 pieces. I think the ones I have left are bigger, so I may only get 2 or 3 done. I'd like to get about 4 done, but we'll see how it goes. Probably need to clean the house a little bit. Need to work some more on retreat stuff. So it'll be a full weekend. I hope you have a good one and get some stitching done. I don't know. I didn't stitch again last night. Adam brought the girls over, so we were outside for a while, and then when we went in, I don't know. Didn't feel like it. I think maybe I'm in a little bit of a slump. So we'll try for tonight. I'm supposed to be Zooming with some people tonight, so we'll try for tonight, or I'll sit there and make fobs while they're stitching. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. So have a great weekend. I will see you. No, I'm not going to do a video on Monday. I have some things I want to get done here at the shop, so I'm not going to do a video on Monday. I will see you on Tuesday. And take care until then, and be safe. Thanks. Bye.